Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Slide8 Fry here, your boy. So, I'm gonna do another React video today because of a particular channel that uploaded an episode of something that I've been a fan of for quite some time. Let's do this. I'm gonna turn off the AC. Yes, I decided to record this in my car. I know. But I thought it'd be more convenient than where I was going to record it earlier. Hopefully someday my wife won't always be confined to her room and I could just record these at home, but that just isn't the case. Although that wouldn't be a problem if we had our own place instead of...
Thanks for joining me on this episode of Angry Video Game Nerd. I'm about to leap into a...
As
always in HD quality by clicking the link in the description below.
Okay.
He's the Angry Video Game Nerd.
And it's about time. I mean, he had teased this... Well, not teased this... The hype for this has been around since 2007. What the hell took you so long to finally review this game? He was trying to review it on his Sega Cd episode all the way back in 2007. Jeez. It was like his 25th episode or something. It was way back. Might even been earlier than 25th episode, I don't know. But, like, finally, 14 years later in 2021, he's going to review this game. The issue was, when he tried to review it on his Sega CD episode, the disc just wouldn't work. The game just kept crashing, and he couldn't say anything about it because there was no way of him describing the game that he couldn't display. I mean, I would have just used footage of someone else playing the game to show it, but it'd have to be the footage that would basically be describing exactly what I'm talking about, so it might not work either.
Well, here we are over a decade later, and I'm actually going to torture myself with this ass pile of a game.
Yeah,
I first mentioned Corpse Killer in the Sega CD episode way back in 2007, so I shelved it and haven't thought about it since then, which is like pissing up a drainage pipe. It comes right back. It's also like on Thanksgiving when your family's sitting around the couch watching football after dinner, just blowing hot turkey farts into the cushions.
Ooh.
Then a week later, you plop down on the couch and that week-old turkey fart cloud envelops you. Well, that's Corpse Killer. And now, after all that time, I'm still not reviewing the Sega CD version. I'm reviewing the 3DO version instead.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because they're all the same. You couldn't even take two shits as identical as this shit.
Okay.
It was on PC, Macintosh, and if you really want to get down to business, there's the Sega CD 32X version, meaning you have to own both shitty consoles just to play the same thing. First of all, how does that work? One system uses cartridges and the other uses CDs. It's not like the game is a compact cartridge disc hybrid. I know that would be pretty amazing, but it's just a CD. And second, what kind of marketing tactic was that? The 32X alone was a failure, so making special games that require both 32X and Sega CD was just forcing a failure on top of a failure. And since they only made 6 games like this, I'm guessing didn't do too well.
Obviously.
There's also an enhanced version on the Saturn, Corpse Killer Graveyard Edition. It's still pretty much the same, but it goes full screen and even has zombies that get all up in your face. What really wrenches my taint, though, is the fact that someone ported this abomination to modern consoles. There's a copy for the PS4 and the Switch in full HD. Corpse Killer in high definition? More like high defecation. The fact there's still enough demand for a game this shitty, even today, blows my mind. With all the actual good shit out there that deserves a remake or HD edition, we get Corpse Killer on the PS4.
You know what? I blame you, James. You were going to review this in 2007, but you never got around to reviewing a different version of it. Did you have a 32X CD version that would have worked? I guess you didn't have it on the 3DO. I blame you. Like, come on! Because you teased it and couldn't review it, and you're like, oh, I guess I can't do it. You waited so long that people were like, oh, I need to see the game, and they were watching videos of it and playing it like crazy, and now it's back on the PS4. I blame you!
What the hell, man? So,
yeah, what
is
man?
Corpse Killer? Or more specifically, what is a corpse killer? How could anyone kill corpses? It would be like toasting toast in a toaster. Once it's toast, that's what it is. It used to be bread, so you never put toast in a toaster. Actually, that's not true. If you're not satisfied with how toasted your toast is, you could put it back in the toaster.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I do that all the time. Because it's not like you can see the toast when it's in the toaster. You can't tell if that toast is as pale as a ghost or overdosed to utmost roast.
What the fuck? Sadly, this reminded me of a really stupid line in Hotel Mario for the Philips CDI. All toasters toast toast.
What game are we talking about now? Oh yeah, Corpse Killer. I will not say toast for the rest of this goddamn review.
Okay, good. God, those are really oversized packages.
All right, game.
Jeez,
you're getting reviewed now.
Disc.
It's a
Make it
baffling
smaller.
mess of shit graphics, piss-poor control, and vomit-inducing sound, all set to a backdrop of a low-budget B-movie. The B-movie part is fine, but when you mix a B-movie with a shitty game, it's like making cake batter out of monkey barf and horse piss. All the live-action scenes were directed by John Lafia, the writer of Child's Play and director of Child's Play 2.
What?
No kidding. Sandwiched in between the cutscenes are levels where
movies.
you play as a nameless Marine and
the
walk
third
slowly to the right on some jittery-ass backgrounds. Scale and perspective have absolutely zero meaning on this island. There's a bunch of airplanes in this level that look smaller than the zombies. And here there's giant fucking skeletons all over the place. Seriously, look
Those
how
are
giant
massive.
these motherfucking skeletons
Way
are.
bigger than the people.
Kind of reminds me of Terminator 2, the arcade game, if they made the whole game over a weekend. Calling Corpse Killer a game is far more than it deserves. You'd have more fun navigating a DVD menu with your dick tip. So anyway, the object of the game is to save all your fellow Marines from the evil Dr. Hellman. I'm guessing he decided to give up on his mayonnaise empire and move on to raising an army of voodoo zombies for world domination or some shit.
Yeah.
Hellman is played by Vincent Schiavelli. You might remember him as the hobo ghost from Ghost, who teaches Patrick Swayze how to use his ghost powers. So,
I also
you
remember him
parachute
in
in
other
and
stuff,
get
too.
attacked. Here you meet your two companions, Winston, your driver and guide, and Julie, a no-nonsense reporter looking for the scoop on the zombie-infested island. They're only in the game to move the story along and shuttle your ass to areas filled with zombies that can only be beaten by walking to the right. You walk to the right in a village, a swamp, the beach, old temples, and airports. There's a ton of places you walk to the right, and that's all you fucking do from now until you beat the game or say fuck it and shut it the hell off. On your way, you can collect special bullets. They're required to kill the boss enemies and these weird jack-o'-lantern looking guys. But they barely give you any throughout the game. The first time you get to a place where you actually need to use them, I only had 25, which wasn't enough to do shit. You need to get the special bullets. Without them, you can't beat the boss. But the game doesn't have the courtesy to give them to you, so I just keep getting to the same point and dying over and over.
Does the game even tell you that you need them for the bosses? Like, tell you in advance? Because it's pretty fucked up.
At one point, I started hitting random buttons thinking it might do something, and it did all right. It kicked me out of the fucking level. Hitting the C button stops the game dead in its tracks and kicks you out to this weird menu screen. If they put the option to abort the level in the pause menu, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah,
but making it a regular button that you're more likely to hit by accident is just shit.
That's
and I know
fucking
for a fact
terrible.
it also does this in the Sega Cd 32X version. And if you want to confirm, I'm guessing it probably does that in the regular Sega Cd version as well. So somebody...
Did you have the CD 32X version back in 2007? Because if you did, what's your excuse? Oh god, I can't let it go. Let's keep. He finally did it. It's cool.
He must have thought it was a good idea. Oh yeah, it was a real good idea. So anyway, I get to this menu, and all it does is show you pictures of enemies and other crap. It doesn't give you any useful info or anything, so why even have it? Eventually, I found out how to get back into the game by selecting the map. This is where the game switches things up a bit. You can go back to the main game, but it starts you at the beginning no matter how far you got. This really scraped my scrotum. I hit one fucking button by accident and I'm booted back to square one. If you want, you could actually do some side quests also. Depending on what you choose, you can do missions that get you health power-ups, special ammo, or you can choose to do quests for Winston or Julie. If you help Winston, he just finds a bunch of treasure and talks more shit. That's it. It has absolutely no bearing on the game whatsoever. If you help Julie, you get some backstory into the events in the game. All in all, these quests are just a waste of fucking time. The last thing I want to do when I'm playing a horrible mess of a game is extend the duration of suckery and do unnecessary garbage.
Yeah,
so the first level you have to beat is Zombie Town. It's just a giant wall with zombies throwing a bunch of crap at you. It's pretty easy, but you have to play the same exact level like 5 fucking times throughout the game. After you beat it, you can either choose the village or the swamp. It's the same thing either way. You fight the same 4 enemies until you walk far enough to the right and the game progresses. Other than the regular zombies, there's these weird shadow guys walking around. They're just lazy palette swaps of the same zombies, just without any color or detail. So if you shoot them while they're dark, you get hurt. You have to wait till they light up, then they kill every zombie on screen. Oh, and about those jack-o'-lantern zombies, they're completely immune to normal bullets. Only the special bullets kill them, but you need to save the special bullets to kill the boss. So you have a decision to make. Either take a hit and lose life, or use that special, precious ammo. All the zombies look like absolute ass. They slide all over the backgrounds and look like they're hanging by wires, because I'm pretty sure they actually were. Some are wearing whatever clothes they showed up in, and others have shitty Halloween masks on. They look like they just went into the Halloween section of a dollar store and bought up anything they could on November 1st. You eventually make your way inside the fortress, which is filled with a bunch of middle-aged dads in pink shirts. I guess they're zombies, but they look like a bunch of golfers wandering around an ancient temple. Eventually, one of the zombified Marines attacks you, and you have to turn them back by using the special ammo. That is, if you have any by this fucking point, because I didn't. I got to this part 5 times and never had enough ammo to finish it. So I had to abort the level and start all over again. I wasted more time on this than I want to admit. I mean, who wants to go around telling people that they played Corpse Killer for 8 hours over their weekend? You sound like a psycho, especially if you said it to a random person on the street. So I'm not proud of this, but after getting absolutely nowhere for hours, I had to use cheats. I know, it's fucked up. The 3DO doesn't have a Game Genie, but it does have the Game Guru. There ain't no magic on this console. There wasn't even an infinite ammo code, just one that gives you a lot of bullets. Even cheating on the 3DO sucks balls.
That's
Eventually I got up to the boss and changed them back. I gotta say, I really hate this game, but it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
After you change your buddy back, you hang out with them and drink some shit out of a skull that replenishes your health, and then head back to defend the graveyard. So the graveyard serves as your home base in all this. I mean, that's pretty smart. The heroes decide that the best possible place they could make a home base during a zombie apocalypse is a fucking graveyard!
No kidding, what the fuck?
So from here, you run through the village, head to the fortress, fight more jack-o'-lanterns and sad golfing dads, then save another Marine, rinse and repeat. That's it. Oh, and every time I go through a cycle of levels, I have to reset, delete my previous save, then go back to the Game Guru to put the code back in. If Merriam-Webster called asking for the dictionary definition of tedious, I'd say this right here. All that shit just so I can see these Oscar-worthy cutscenes.
Fish for a moment. Dude, you sound like you're taking a shit.
Apparently, transforming back from a zombie makes you feel like you just jizzed lava into your boxer briefs.
Yeah.
After repeating this 4 fucking times, you finally face off against Mr. Mayonnaise himself, Dr. Hellman. And it's one of the most incredible sights I've ever seen in FMV history. And I say that without an ounce of sarcasm.
Okay.
Because we are the new order!
Oh, good Lord! The final boss of this game is a JPEG of Vincent Schiavelli's face, spitting an endless stream of zombies at you.
That is so dumb.
I'd find this whole fight hilarious if it weren't the most frustrating thing possible. Basically, I don't even know if I'm winning or not. Zombies just shoot out infinitely as the picture shifts around and gets more and more ugly. The problem with this fight is you have to beat 2 levels before it, and if you get hit on either of those levels, chances are you're completely fucked for the boss fight.
Jeez.
Seriously, this fight goes on forever. Hundreds of zombies fly at you, literally hundreds. I spent about an hour on this fight alone because I died about a shitload of fuck times.
Jeez.
It was demoralizing.
I bet.
It's okay. Death is really, really cruel.
Imagine trying to build something out of Legos, but every 5 minutes someone comes into the room, smashes what you've built, and shits on them, and then you have to start over using the poopy Legos. That's what this boss is in a nutshell. Wow. If you actually manage to beat this shit, you get treated to a hilarious death scene.
That's it?
Then you get a bunch of stock clips of fighter jets shooting cartoon lasers at the base till it explodes. Oh, also you get to see Julie in a swimsuit for some reason. How, when, and why the hell she changed into a swimsuit makes no sense. My guess is they needed something to ease the pain of having to spend your weekend slogging through this useless excuse for a video game. All in all, Corpse Killer is just a waste of disc. The entire budget no doubtly went to the production of the B-movie scenes, and barely any effort went into the actual game part of the fucking video game. This is why FMV games were a dead fad more than anything else. People focused so much on the hardware capabilities back then, and the bits and the graphics.
Great graphics.
If you're amused by watching shitty movies and pressing buttons, this is right up your alley. More like right up your ass.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, I didn't mention any other awful games in past episodes that you're going to want me to torture myself with.
There's more.
No cliffhanger this time? Okay. All right, well, I'll see you next time, but for now, it's time to kill this corpse.
Okay, cool.
Motherfuck.
There's more. I'm sure of it. I just can't think of any off the top of my head. He did Raid 2020 last year, and that was mentioned in a Bible Games video, I think. That was actually my first. That video was the first time I ever reacted to AVGN. But anyways, all right. Well, way to go, James. Great video. Finally, it took you 14 years, but finally here it is. Finally. Pretty sweet. I see what you mean by you had a lot to say about this game. This game was terrible. My gosh. Yeah, this is actually kind of similar to what I was mentioning when I did the react to part 1 of this 3DO thing. Which is odd because he reviewed the 3DO back in like 2010 or whatever with the Plumbers Don't Wear Ties episode. Sure, he primarily focused on that game, but he still talked about the console and other games for it. But anyways, the previous episode when he was just talking about the 3DO and some of the other games, I had mentioned that it looks like a lot of companies focused more on making a film and then doing the game last, which just doesn't work. If you're going to make a film, just make a film. Don't put it on a video game. Like, what's wrong with you, man? It's just stupid. Really, really stupid. My goodness. But unfortunately, that's what they chose. Don't get me wrong, there are some games even back then that kind of did it right. I believe Wing Commander 3, which came out for the 3DO back then, and I actually downloaded it to Origin on my PC. That one is pretty good. I mean, I didn't play it that much, but as far as I know, it's considered to be pretty good. And obviously when PlayStation came out, they did it better. They focused on the game first, then they started doing the cutscenes. So, there you go. I mean, nowadays, the cutscenes oftentimes use the in-game graphics. It didn't used to be that way. They used to try to, like, make high-definition cutscenes that actually the game didn't look like at all, which sometimes was kind of off-putting, to be honest. Now they actually do have the cutscenes typically use the in-game graphics, which I appreciate. Anyways, what'd you think about this episode of AVGN? What'd you think about the review? What'd you think about that game, Corpse Killer? And what do you think about the fact that, what the fuck? They released one for the PS4? Why? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Who'd want to play that? That game's so terrible. Like, what the fuck? Oh my gosh. I mean, it's one thing when you make a brand new game and it's absolutely terrible, like with that Black Tiger game that came out for the PS4 a few years ago, and AVGN, in fact, reviewed it. Gilbert Gottfried was a guest star in it. But when you make a game that was bad over 20 years ago, nearly 30 years ago, and then you re-release it today on modern consoles, why would you do that? Kind of like Bubsy. The Bubsy games that came out for, Super Nintendo, I think there was a Sega Genesis one. Obviously, there's the infamous god-awful 3D one on the, what was it, the PlayStation. And there's also one that came out for the Atari Jaguar that's a 2D one, like the SNES and Genesis. But, like, those games were notoriously, were considered really bad. And then they re-released, or released like a new, I guess, patched up version of it on Steam for the PC. Like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? Doesn't make sense. At least it wasn't the 3D one. That would have been terrible. That said, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell icon to add me notifications. I have actually quite a few other AVGN React videos, as well as some other some React videos to some other things from the Cinemassacre YouTube channel in my AVGN React playlist. Check that out if you'd like. And I gotta announce this, I am working on a Sonic movie review. I haven't been able to put as much time into it as I'd like to because of my busy work schedule, especially since I'm the only one working between my wife and I now, so I gotta cover the entire rent and so on. But anyways, so I'm working more hours, so it's been a little bit harder to actually find enough time to edit my Sonic movie review, but I'm working on it. I plan to have it done. I uploaded a draft to my Facebook. I'll have that draft here on my YouTube, and when that draft comes out, that will signify to you that I'm almost done with the video, because I'm not going to have the draft out unless I'm actually almost done with the video. I'll draft out on YouTube, that is. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for that, and see you later.